The room is quiet tonight. A small lamp glows softly beside the bed. Outside, the world has slowed its breathing. A single tree stands still, holding the night. Perhaps a car passes far away. Its sound fades without asking anything from you. You are here now, lying down, doing nothing that needs fixing. The day may have been long. Your thoughts may still be moving, like tired feet, plans, worries, old conversations. They drift in, then drift out again. If your mind feels crowded, that is okay. Nothing is wrong with you. Many people feel this way at night, even those who look strong during the day. In the quiet hours, the heart speaks honestly. It asks for rest, not answers. Long ago, Buddhist teachers noticed this gently. They saw how grasping creates exhaustion, not only grasping for things, but grasping for people, approval, reassurance. The Buddha once spoke of simplicity of heart. A mind that leans nowhere finally relaxes. When we need no one to complete us, a deep peace begins to appear on its own. This does not mean pushing others away. It means resting without leaning, like a cup sitting calmly on the table. It does not ask the room to hold it. In the Dhammapada, there is quiet guidance. Freedom grows when craving softens its grip, not through force, but through gentle understanding. Tonight, you do not need to solve anything. You do not need to be held together. You are already allowed to rest. Even if your life feels unfinished, the body knows how to settle. The breath knows how to slow. Each breath arrives without effort. Each breath leaves without taking anything. You may notice small comforts now. The weight of the blanket, the steady support beneath you, the air touching your face. In Buddhist reflection, peace is often described simply: nothing extra added, nothing missing. Just this moment, as it is. As we continue, there is no goal, only listening. Like listening to rain, stories will come gently. Wisdom will arrive quietly. If it arrives at all, you can let the words pass through you, like light moving across still water. There is nowhere else to be tonight, no one you need to become. For now, rest is enough. Breathing is enough. If you'd like, feel free to share where you're listening from tonight. Story 1. The chair by the quiet window. A wooden chair rests beside a quiet window tonight. Moonlight touches its arms without asking anything. The house has finished speaking for the day. Walls hold the warmth of hours already past. You may be sitting or lying down now. Your body remembers how to rest, even if the mind forgets. Many adults carry the weight of unfinished thoughts. Work emails, family duties, quiet disappointments linger softly. Long ago, a tired merchant visited an old Zen teacher. He said his mind never stopped arranging tomorrow. The teacher invited him to sit on a plain chair. Nothing special, nothing broken, nothing impressive. They sat without words while night gathered itself. The chair did not try to improve the merchant. In the Dhammapada, calm is described as simplicity, a mind no longer arguing with what already is. The merchant noticed his shoulders slowly lowering. The chair held him without advice or expectation. He realized his exhaustion came from leaning everywhere else. People, plans, praise, control, and imagined security. The teacher finally spoke, voice low and steady. When you need no one, you finally arrive home. If not pushing others away, not closing the heart, simply resting without leaning for support. Tonight, You are allowed to be held by stillness. The chair of this moment supports you quietly. Let thoughts pass like soft shadows on the wall. You do not need to follow them anywhere. Your breathing knows the rhythm of safety. In and out. Nothing extra added. The chair does not ask who you were today. It accepts your full weight without judgment. As sleep approaches, remember this gentle teaching. Peace comes when nothing is required to hold you. Story 2. The path without footprints. A narrow path winds through tall grass at dusk. No footprints remain from those who walked earlier. The air feels cool, carrying the scent of earth. Crickets begin their simple, honest song. A woman once feared she was falling behind life. Others seemed faster, clearer, more accomplished. Her nights filled with comparison and quiet shame. Even rest felt undeserved in her tired body. She asked a monk about finding her place. He walked with her onto an unmarked path. The grass bent gently under each step. Behind them, the path slowly disappeared. In the Kalama Sutta, trust is placed in experience, not borrowed beliefs, not borrowed timelines. The monk said, "The path appears only under you. Yes, no one else can walk it for you." Is fours. The woman felt her breath deepen naturally. She realized she was not late at all. Tonight, you may feel pressure to catch up, to prove something invisible to someone unseen, but your life unfolds at its own pace. Each step belongs only to you. Rest now, without measuring distance or progress. The path will meet you again tomorrow. Sleep comes easier when comparison rests. Peace grows where footsteps gently fade. Story 3. The bowl of clear water. A simple bowl sits filled with clear water. It reflects the ceiling without distortion. A restless man once stared into such a bowl. His thoughts stirred the surface again and again. Work demands followed him into every evening. Even silence felt crowded with unfinished tasks. An elder recited words from the Sayutta Nikaya. The mind settles when agitation is not fed. The elder asked him to stop touching the water. At first, the man resisted, then waited. Slowly, the ripples softened and disappeared. The reflection returned without effort. The man understood something beyond explanation. Clarity is not created, only revealed. Tonight, your thoughts may still be moving. That does not mean peace is gone. Simply stop stirring for a while. Let the surface calm itself naturally. Your mind knows how to become clear. It has done so many times before. As sleep approaches, imagine the bowl resting. Nothing added, nothing taken away. This is the teaching carried into the night. Stillness returns when effort gently ends. Story 4. The lantern carried gently. A small lantern glows along a quiet road. Its light sways softly with each step. A father once worried about everyone he loved. He carried their futures heavily in his chest. Control felt like responsibility. Responsibility like love. Exhaustion followed him into restless nights. A teacher reminded him of the middle way. Care without grasping. Love without fear. In the Anguttara Nikaya, balance is praised gently. Too tight breaks. Too loose drifts away. The lantern showed only a few steps ahead, yet the road unfolded safely beneath his feet. He learned not to light the whole journey, just the next small moment. Tonight, you may be holding too much concern for outcomes not yet alive. Set the lantern down beside you now. The night does not need full illumination. Rest comes when care becomes gentle. Trust grows when effort softens its grip. Story 5. The breath that stays. The breath arrives quietly, without announcement. It leaves just as softly. A student once asked how to stop overthinking. The teacher pointed only to breathing. In the Satipatthana Sutta, awareness begins here, in the body, in this moment. No matter how far the mind wanders, the breath never abandons you. Tonight, thoughts may drift through many rooms. Let them wander without escort. Each return to breathing is a kindness, not a correction, not a failure. You do not need to chase sleep. Sleep recognizes calm and comes willingly. Rest now with the breath as companion. Nothing else is required. This is the quiet teaching before sleep. What stays does not need to be held. Story 6. The platform after midnight. A quiet train platform rests beneath dim lights after midnight. The air smells faintly of rain and clean metal. No announcements hurry the silence along tonight. Benches wait without expectation or complaint. A woman once stood on such a platform late. Her workdays were long, her thoughts even longer. Deadlines echoed louder than footsteps in her mind. She felt responsible for outcomes beyond her reach. Each night, sleep felt delayed by invisible obligations. Her chest stayed tight. Even while resting, an elderly attendant swept the platform slowly nearby. His movements were unhurried, careful, and kind. She asked how he stayed so calm at night. He smiled, continuing his gentle, sweeping rhythm. He spoke of teachings remembered from long ago. The Buddha spoke of putting burdens down wisely. In the Majjhima Nikaya, effort is guided gently. Not everything must be carried all the way. The attendant pointed to the empty tracks ahead. No train arrives before its own proper time. Sweeping, he said, is only sweeping. Waiting, he said, is only waiting. The woman felt something loosen inside her chest. She realized she was rushing without moving. Tonight, you may also feel stuck between arrivals, waiting for relief, answers, or permission to rest. But this moment asks nothing complicated from you. Like the platform, simply remain available. You do not need to summon tomorrow early. Tomorrow knows how to arrive on its own. The platform does not chase the trains. Still, every train eventually comes. Your life also moves with quiet timing, even when you cannot see motion happening. In the Sutta Nikaya, patience is praised softly. Time unfolds when grasping steps aside. Let your shoulders drop a little now. Let your jaw unclench without explanation. Notice how the body responds to permission. It settles when not being pushed. The night air holds you gently here. Nothing demands improvement from this moment. If thoughts appear, let them pass like schedules. Posted, noticed, then no longer needed. The platform remains steady beneath everything. So do you, beneath changing thoughts. As sleep approaches, remember the attendant's words. Some things arrive only when we stop calling. Rest here. Like the platform after midnight, peace comes when waiting becomes gentle. Story 7. The door left slightly open. A wooden door rests slightly open in the quiet house. Night air slips through without disturbing anything inside. The hallway light has been turned off gently. Shadows settle into familiar, harmless shapes. A man once struggled with the need to control endings. He closed every door tightly, afraid of uncertainty. At work, he planned every detail carefully. At home, his mind kept guarding old conversations. Sleep rarely came easily to him. His thoughts stayed alert, standing watch. One evening, he visited a small countryside temple. The monk there noticed a door left open. The man reached to close it automatically. The monk raised a hand and smiled softly. "Let the night breathe," the monk said quietly. "Nothing here needs guarding. They sat together without speaking for a while. The open door let in cool air and distant sounds. Crickets sang without concern for permission. Leaves shifted, then became still again. In the Abhaya Sutta, safety is spoken of gently. Fear loosens when truth is not resisted. The man felt uneasy at first. Then something unfamiliar happened inside him. His chest softened as vigilance faded. The open door did not invite danger. It invited relief. It invited trust. He realized how much effort he spent closing things, closing feelings, possibilities, and moments unfinished. That night, he slept deeply for the first time. The open door stood quietly until morning. Tonight, you may also guard your inner doors, holding them shut with tired determination. Perhaps you fear old thoughts returning. Perhaps you fear losing control. But rest does not enter through force. It enters where there is space. You do not need to solve the night. You do not need to monitor every thought. Imagine leaving one inner door slightly open, just enough for the breath to pass through. Thoughts may come, then wander out again. Feelings may arise, then soften naturally. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, presence is refuge. Awareness holds without gripping. Notice the body resting more deeply now. Notice the quiet strength beneath relaxation. You are not careless when you rest. You are wise. The door does not need to be fully open. It only needs to stop resisting the night. Let sleep approach through that small opening, gently, respectfully, without force. This is the quiet teaching carried into rest. Peace arrives when guarding finally lets go. Story 8. The stone beside the river. A smooth stone rests quietly beside a slow river tonight. Water moves past it without argument or hesitation. The river carries leaves, reflections, and moonlight together. The stone remains cool, grounded, and untroubled. A man once felt worn down by constant comparison. He measured himself against co-workers, neighbors, even strangers online. Each comparison tightened something inside his chest. Success elsewhere felt like personal failure. One evening, he walked along a river path alone. His thoughts followed him, loud and persistent. An old monk was sitting near the water silently. The monk picked up a stone and placed it down again. He spoke of teachings remembered from the Jataka tales. Each being follows its own nature and timing. The stone does not race the river, the monk said. Still, both belong exactly where they are. The man watched water slide past the stone patiently. Neither seemed disturbed by the other's existence. For the first time, he felt comparison loosen. He realized his struggle was never with others. It was with resisting his own pace, with wishing to be somewhere else already. Tonight, you may feel pulled by others' lives, their progress, comfort, or confidence. Let them pass, like water moving downstream. You are allowed to remain where you are. Notice how the body softens without comparison. Breathing deepens when measuring stops. The river does not hurry you forward. The stone does not apologize for resting. In this teaching, peace is uncomplicated, belonging without competition. Let sleep come like the river's sound, steady, continuous, and unconcerned. You do not need to move to be complete. Rest here, like the stone beside the river. Story 9. The shelf with nothing missing. A wooden shelf hangs quietly on a plain wall. It holds only a single bowl. The room feels uncluttered and calm. Nothing presses for attention. A woman once filled every space in her life. Schedules, commitments, expectations crowded her days. Even her evenings felt booked by worry. She believed fullness meant safety. She visited a small monastery during a break. Her room contained only a shelf and bowl. She felt uneasy at first, as if something important had been forgotten. The teacher spoke of the Abhidhamma gently. Suffering grows when the mind overcollects. They sat together in the simple room. Silence slowly became comforting. She noticed her breath moving freely. The empty shelf did not feel lacking. It felt complete. Nothing extra demanded care. That night, she slept deeply and without dreams. The absence of clutter quieted her mind. Tonight, you may feel surrounded by too much, too many thoughts, roles, and expectations. Imagine placing them gently on a shelf, not throwing them away, just setting them down. Notice the space that appears naturally. Space invites rest without effort. In the Sigalovada Sutta, balance is respected, knowing when enough has arrived. You do not need to add anything tonight. You are already sufficient. Let sleep come to the uncluttered mind. Peace lives where nothing is missing. Story 10. The fire that warms without burning. A small fire crackles softly in a quiet hearth. Its light moves gently across the room. A man once confused intensity with care. He pushed himself hard, believing pressure meant progress. His ambition burned brightly, but painfully. Sleep felt shallow and restless. An elder spoke to him of right energy. The Buddha taught effort without strain. In the Anguttara Nikaya, moderation is praised. Fire should warm, not consume. The elder adjusted the fire carefully. Smaller flames steadied the heat. The room grew warmer, not louder. The man felt his body relax. He realized how harshly he drove himself. Even rest felt like another task. Tonight, you may feel driven from within, as if stopping would mean failure. But rest is not quitting. It is refueling gently. Imagine your inner fire calming now, still warm, no longer fierce. Notice the comfort spreading slowly. Safety replaces urgency. Sleep approaches when effort balances itself. This is the teaching of gentle flame. Rest now. Warmed but unburned. Peace lives in moderated fire. Story 11. The letter never sent. A folded letter rests inside an old drawer. Its words have never been read aloud. A woman wrote it during a painful season. Grief and regret shaped every sentence. She kept it hidden for many years. Fear told her it was unfinished business. One night, she opened the drawer quietly. She read the letter slowly. With kindness, tears came, then softened naturally. Nothing needed correction anymore. A teaching from the Kusar Kamavibhanga Sutta arose gently. Intentions shape the heart more than outcomes. She realized the letter had already served its purpose. Expression, not delivery, brought healing. She placed it back, no longer heavy. The drawer closed without resistance. Tonight, you may hold unsent words inside. Apologies, explanations, or wishes. You do not need to resolve them now. Acknowledging them is enough. Let your heart rest from unfinished conversations. Silence can be kind. Sleep comes easier when forgiveness settles. Peace grows when stories end softly. Story 12. The cloud passing the moon. A pale cloud drifts slowly across the moon. Light dims, then returns unchanged. A listener once feared dark moods deeply. They believed calm was fragile. A teacher spoke of thoughts like clouds. In the Sanyutta Nikaya, this image appears often. The moon does not chase clouds away. It waits patiently behind them. Tonight, thoughts may cover your calm briefly. Worry, memory, or doubt may pass through. They are not permanent. They are not personal. Notice how awareness remains quietly present, like the moon behind passing cloud. You do not need to fix the sky. You do not need to manage the night. Let clouds pass in their own time. Light returns naturally. As sleep arrives, remember this teaching. What you are never disappears. Rest now beneath the steady moon. Peace waits patiently behind every thought. Story 13. The bench under the old tree. A wooden bench rests beneath an old tree tonight. Its surface feels cool, steady, and quietly familiar. Leaves move gently above, whispering without words. The night air carries the scent of bark and soil. A man once came to such a bench after long days. His work demanded constant decisions and careful control. During daylight, he managed people and expectations. At night, his mind continued working without rest. He believed stopping meant falling behind. Stillness felt risky, almost irresponsible. An elderly monk often sat on the same bench. He greeted the man with a small nod. They sat together many evenings without conversation. The tree seemed to approve of their silence. One night, the monk spoke softly about effort. He remembered words from the Majjhima Nikaya. Effort, he said, is knowing when to stop pushing. Wisdom includes the courage to rest. The man listened, watching leaves drift downward slowly. No leaf hurried to reach the ground. The bench supported both bodies equally. It did not reward productivity or punish fatigue. Gradually, the man felt his breathing slow. The pressure in his chest softened without explanation. He realized how rarely he allowed himself to pause. Even rest had become another assignment. The monk placed his hand on the bench lightly. "This bench does not improve itself," he said. "Still, it is useful every day." 21st. It supports by simply being present. In morning, tonight, you may also carry hidden pressure, a belief that rest must be earned. But your worth is not measured by motion. Stillness is not absence. Like the bench, you support life quietly, even when you do nothing at all. Notice how your body meets the surface beneath you, supported without needing to explain itself. Thoughts may come and sit beside you briefly. They do not need attention to leave again. In the Abhidhamma, calm is a natural state. Disturbance passes when conditions ease. Let this moment ease now. Allow the bench of awareness to hold you. You are not behind tonight. You are exactly where rest begins. As sleep approaches, remember the simple teaching. Support does not require effort. Story 14. The clock without numbers. A round clock hangs quietly on a plain wall. Its face is smooth, without any numbers. The hands move slowly, without urgency. Time passes without announcing itself. A woman once obsessed over schedules and deadlines. Minutes felt sharp, like constant reminders. Even at night, time chased her thoughts. Sleep felt like something she was failing at. She visited an old meditation hall one afternoon. On the wall hung a clock without numbers. At first, she felt uneasy looking at it. She could not tell if she was late. The teacher noticed her discomfort and smiled gently. He spoke of teachings from the Sanyutta Nikaya. Suffering grows when we argue with time. Peace appears when time is allowed to move freely. They sat beneath the clock in silence. without numbers. Time softened into presence. The woman noticed her breath instead of minutes. Her shoulders relaxed without instruction. She realized how often she measured her worth by speed. Faster responses, quicker progress, constant improvement. The clock without numbers offered a quiet lesson. Life continues, even when counting stops. Tonight, you may feel watched by time, hours slipping away, sleep not arriving yet. Imagine removing the numbers from your night. Let moments unfold without labels. You do not need to hurry rest. Rest recognizes openness, not pressure. In the Satipatthana Sutta, attention returns to now, not earlier, not later. Notice how the body responds to timelessness. Breathing deepens. Muscles soften naturally. The hands of the clock keep moving gently. They do not accuse or demand. Allow this night to be unmeasured. Sleep arrives when time loosens its grip. This is the quiet teaching before rest. Peace lives where counting ends. Story 15. The boat that stayed close. A small boat floats near the shore at night. Its rope rests loosely against a wooden post. The water moves in, slow. Steady waves. Stars shimmer softly across the surface. A man once feared drifting too far from safety. He held tightly to routines, rules, and certainty. Change made his chest tighten painfully. Even positive change felt threatening. An elder fisherman watched him from the dock. He spoke of lessons learned from years on water. The Buddha taught the middle way. He said softly, neither clinging nor drifting without care. He pointed to the loosely tied boat. It moved with water, yet stayed close. If the rope is too tight, he said, the boat breaks when waves rise. Eat. If the rope is too loose, he continued, the boat disappears into darkness. Eno, the man, watched the gentle movement carefully. Something inside him eased with understanding. He realized control had become fear in disguise. Holding too tightly had cost him rest. Tonight, you may fear letting go, afraid of what might change without control. But gentle holding allows life to breathe. Flexibility is not abandonment. Notice how your breath moves freely, held by the body, not trapped by it. In the Anguttara Nikaya, balance is wisdom. Stability grows from softness. Let your inner rope loosen slightly now. Trust the support already beneath you. Sleep comes when resistance softens. Safety grows when grip relaxes. This is the quiet teaching carried into night. Peace floats near when held gently. Story 16. The cup turned upside down. A small ceramic cup rests upside down on a table. Its rim touches wood. Its inside empty and quiet. The room smells faintly of evening tea. Nothing waits to be poured right now. A woman once felt overwhelmed by advice. Everyone told her how to live better. Improve this. Fix that. Try harder tomorrow. Her mind grew heavy with instructions. She visited a retreat, seeking more answers. An old teacher placed a cup before her. He gently turned it upside down. Then he sat back without speaking. Minutes passed in comfortable silence. The woman felt confused, then strangely calm. The teacher recalled a simple Zen teaching. A full cup cannot receive fresh water. In the Majjhima Nikaya, letting go is praised. Understanding appears when grasping loosens. The woman realized how crowded her mind felt. Even wisdom had become another burden. That night, she slept deeply and without effort. Nothing new was added to her life. Tonight, you may also carry too many answers, too many expectations of improvement. Imagine gently turning your inner cup over, letting old advice drain away. You do not need to become better tonight. You only need to rest. Notice the quiet relief of emptiness. Space welcomes peace naturally. As sleep approaches, remember this soft teaching. An open cup receives rest easily. Story 17. The light left on. A small hallway light glows through the night. Its warmth feels steady and reassuring. A child once feared complete darkness, so a parent left a light on. Years later, that child became an adult, still uneasy with uncertainty and unknown outcomes. At night, worries gathered in the dark. Sleep felt fragile and distant. An elderly nun spoke gently about fear. She remembered teachings from the Abhaya Sutta. Fear softens when truth is met kindly. Safety grows from gentle presence. She suggested leaving one light on inside, not to banish darkness, only to coexist. The adult learned to rest without full clarity. Questions no longer demanded immediate answers. Tonight, you may wish everything were resolved. Clear plans, clear outcomes, clear sleep. But it is enough to feel partly safe. Peace does not require total certainty. Imagine a small inner light, glowing softly, not bright, just steady. Let it sit beside your breath. Thoughts may move around it quietly. The night does not need to be conquered. It only needs gentle companionship. As sleep arrives, remember this teaching. A little light is enough. Story 18. The path lit by fireflies. A narrow path winds gently through tall grass at night. Tiny fireflies float above it, blinking without hurry. Their light appears, disappears, then returns again. The darkness never argues with their presence. A tired woman once walked such a path alone. Her days were filled with decisions that never felt finished. At night, her mind replayed every small mistake. She feared one wrong step could ruin everything. She believed clarity must come all at once. Without it, she felt unsafe and restless. An old teacher once walked beside her quietly. He carried no lantern, only calm attention. He spoke of a teaching from the Sutta Nikaya. Wisdom unfolds moment by moment. Not all together. He pointed gently toward the fireflies drifting nearby. They do not light the whole path, he said softly. They only show the next small place to step. Is the rest. The woman slowed her walking without realizing it. Her breathing matched the gentle blinking lights. The pressure in her chest eased slightly. She noticed the ground was steady beneath her feet, even where light had not yet appeared. The teacher reminded her of the middle way, neither rushing forward nor stopping in fear. Each step met the path as it arrived. Nothing more was required. The fireflies never stayed in one place. Still, the path remained trustworthy. That night, the woman slept deeply for the first time. She stopped demanding certainty from the darkness. Tonight, you may wish for complete understanding, clear answers, firm direction, guaranteed outcomes. But rest does not wait for full illumination. It comes when trust replaces urgency. Notice how your breath lights one moment at a time. In, then out. Gentle and reliable. Thoughts may wander ahead into darkness. You do not need to follow them. The body knows how to rest safely, even without seeing the whole night. In the Satipatthana Sutta, presence is the path. Awareness walks one step at a time. Let your attention settle where you are now. On the surface, supporting you quietly, fireflies blink softly within your awareness. Small moments of calm, appearing naturally. You do not need to chase them. They arrive when the mind slows. Allow the next moment to be enough. Then allow the next. As sleep approaches, remember this gentle teaching. The path reveals itself step by step. Story 19. The window that stayed clear. A wide window looks out into the quiet night. Its glass is clean, without dust or streaks. Moonlight rests on the sill gently. Nothing presses against the pane. A man once felt trapped inside his own thoughts. They crowded his mind like smudges on glass. Work pressure, family worries, old regrets. Each thought blurred his inner view. He tried forcing his mind to be quiet. The more he pushed, the cloudier it became. An elderly teacher invited him to sit near a window. They looked out together without speaking. After a while, the teacher wiped the glass slowly. He did not rush or scrub harshly. In the Majjhima Nikaya, clarity is described gently. Seeing comes when agitation settles. The man noticed the view sharpen naturally. Nothing outside had changed at all. Only the glass had been cleaned. Only effort had softened. The teacher said the mind is similar. You do not fix the world to see clearly. You simply stop pressing against the glass. You allow space to return. Tonight, your thoughts may feel crowded, blurring the calm you want to feel. You do not need to chase them away. Just stop pushing for clarity. Notice the steady surface beneath you now. Notice the breath moving without instruction. With each breath, the glass clears slightly. Not perfectly, but enough. In the Sayutta Nikaya, calm is gradual, like fog lifting without announcement. Let the window of awareness remain untouched. Thoughts may pass like distant clouds. You are not trapped behind them. You are the space watching through. As sleep approaches, rest with this teaching. Clarity returns when pressure leaves. Story 20. The pillow that did not remember. A soft pillow rests quietly at the head of the bed. Its surface holds no shape from yesterday. It receives the head, then lets go again. Nothing lingers. Nothing is kept. A woman once carried the day into the night. Every mistake followed her into bed. Her pillow became a place of replay. Conversations repeated. Regrets grew louder. She believed rest required fixing the past. Her body lay still, but her mind worked. An old nun noticed her tired eyes one morning. She spoke gently of a simple truth. In the Sayutta Nikaya, release is described softly. Moments end. Even when the mind resists. The nun picked up a pillow and pressed it lightly. Then she lifted her hand away. The pillow returned to its calm shape. It did not remember the pressure. She said, "Let the night be like this. Is, receive the day, then release it." If the woman practiced this without effort, she rested her head and stopped reviewing. The pillow did not ask her story. It offered support without curiosity. That night, sleep arrived quietly, not because the day was resolved, but because it was released. Nothing more was required. Tonight, you may still hold the day tightly, afraid to forget something important. But rest does not erase wisdom. It simply pauses the carrying. Let your pillow forget for you. Let it hold what you no longer need. Notice the weight leaving your neck slowly, the jaw softening without instruction. Thoughts may knock, then wander away. They are not locked out, just uninvited. In the Satipatthana Sutta, letting go is natural. Awareness does not cling. Allow the night to receive you fully, then allow it to release you into sleep. This is the quiet teaching of rest. What is held gently can be let go. Story 21. The shoes left by the door. A pair of worn shoes rests quietly beside the doorway tonight. They carry dust from places already finished for the day. The house no longer expects movement or direction. Walls breathe softly, holding the warmth of evening. A man once struggled to stop doing, even at night. His mind kept walking. He replayed meetings, decisions, unfinished conversations. His body lay still, but effort continued inwardly. An elderly teacher noticed the shoes by the door. He placed them neatly together, without comment. After a while, he spoke of a simple teaching in the Majjhima Nikaya. Rest begins with setting burdens down. The teacher said, shoes are for roads, not beds. Carrying them further only tires the feet. The man understood something quietly. He had brought his walking mind into rest. That night, he imagined removing inner shoes, responsibilities placed gently beside awareness. The floor felt cooler under bare feet. The body recognized safety without preparation. Tonight, you may still feel the urge to move, plans stepping forward. Even while lying down, imagine setting those inner shoes by the door. Tomorrow knows where to find them. For now, feel the relief of uncarried weight. Rest arrives when movement ends. This is the soft teaching of the doorway. What rests does not need to travel. Story 22. The mailbox at night. A small mailbox stands quietly beside the road. Its flag lowered. Its work finished for now. Moonlight touches the metal softly. No messages are waiting to arrive. A woman once checked her phone endlessly at night. She feared missing something important. Emails, updates. Expectations followed her into bed. Silence felt unsafe and incomplete. An old monk spoke of a village mailbox. He remembered a teaching from the Anguttara Nikaya. Messages arrive when the time is right. Checking early does not summon them faster. He explained how waiting can also be wisdom. The mind rests when it trusts timing. The woman imagined her thoughts as letters, all already delivered for today. She lowered her inner flag gently. Nothing more needed receiving. That night, her breathing slowed naturally. Sleep arrived without effort. Tonight, you may wait for news or resolution, a sign that everything is okay. Consider lowering your inner mailbox flag. If something matters, it will come tomorrow. For now, silence is complete. Rest grows where waiting softens. This is the quiet teaching of the night mailbox. Nothing important arrives while you sleep. Story 23. The coat hung carefully. A heavy coat hangs quietly on a wooden hook. Its pockets finally empty. The room feels lighter without it moving around. Warmth lingers even after removal. A man once carried emotional armor everywhere. Strength felt necessary, even while resting. He guarded himself against disappointment constantly. Sleep never fully reached his chest. A teacher spoke of gentleness remembered from the Dhammapada. Protection is sometimes learned release. The teacher removed his own coat slowly. He hung it with care, not rejection. The man followed, uncertain at first. Without the coat, his shoulders dropped. He noticed warmth remained inside him. Armor was no longer needed here. Tonight, you may still wear emotional weight, prepared for battles not happening now. Imagine hanging that coat beside awareness. It will be there when morning comes. Feel the body soften without defense. Safety does not require tension. This is the teaching carried into rest. What you remove gently can return gently. Story 24. The calendar with no marks. A calendar hangs open to today's date. No notes fill its empty squares. The page feels clean and forgiving. Time pauses without judgment. A woman once filled every day tightly. Productivity measured her worth. At night, unfinished tasks haunted her. Rest felt undeserved. An elderly nun spoke of a teaching in the Sutta Nikaya. Worth is not counted. She removed all markings from the calendar. Only days remained. Simple and equal. The woman felt strange relief. Tomorrow no longer chased her. Tonight, you may feel measured by time. Hours lost. Sleep delayed. Imagine a blank calendar page before you. Nothing demanded. Nothing overdue. You are allowed to rest without achievement. Being alive is already enough. This is the teaching before sleep. Time rests when counting stops. Story 25. The lake that held the moon. A still lake rests beneath the open sky. The moon settles gently upon its surface. Nothing is captured. Nothing is owned. Reflection happens without effort. A tired listener once tried to hold peace. Grasping made it disappear. A teacher spoke of Indra's net softly. Everything reflects, without clinging. The lake does not pull the moon closer. Still, the moon appears fully. Tonight, let peace reflect naturally within you. Do not try to hold it. Rest like the lake beneath awareness. What belongs will appear. This is the final teaching of the night. Peace comes when nothing is grasped. Story 26. The keys set on the table. A small set of keys rests quietly on the wooden table. Their metal surface cools after a long day. The house no longer waits for doors to open. Everything needed is already inside. A man once kept his keys in his hand at night. He feared forgetting something important. Responsibility followed him, even into rest. His fingers stayed tight, even while lying down. An old teacher noticed the habit gently. He spoke of a teaching remembered from the Majjhima Nikaya. Holding on does not make tomorrow safer. It only makes tonight heavier. The teacher placed the keys on the table softly. The sound was small, but relieving. The man felt his hand relax immediately. Nothing bad happened when he let go. Tonight, you may still clutch invisible keys, tasks, roles, or worries held tightly. Imagine setting them down beside you now. They will not disappear. The body recognizes relief quickly. Muscles soften without instruction. This is the quiet teaching of the table. What is set down can wait. Story 27. The radio turned low. A radio plays softly in the next room. Its volume barely touches the air. Music moves without demanding attention. Silence holds the rest. A woman once kept mental noise very loud. News, opinions, and inner commentary overlapped. She feared quiet meant missing something important. Sleep stayed shallow and alert. A monk spoke of right listening one evening. He recalled a gentle teaching from the Sutta Nikaya. Not every signal needs full volume. Some wisdom arrives when noise lowers. He turned the radio almost off. Only a hint of sound remained. The woman noticed her breathing slow naturally. Her thoughts followed the quieter rhythm. Tonight, you may feel surrounded by mental chatter, voices competing for attention. Imagine turning your inner radio lower, not off, just softer. Notice how rest fills the space. Peace prefers gentle sound. This is the teaching carried into sleep. Quiet does not mean absence. Story 28. The notebook closed gently. A thick notebook lies closed on a desk. Its pages rest without being read. The pen beside it has stopped moving. Ideas wait patiently. A man once wrote lists late into the night. He believed writing everything down would bring rest. Instead, the lists multiplied endlessly. Sleep felt postponed by planning. An elderly teacher watched him kindly. She remembered a lesson from the Anguttara Nikaya. There is a time for gathering and a time for closing the book. She closed the notebook gently. The sound felt final and kind. The man noticed his chest soften. Nothing urgent remained unfinished. Tonight, you may still organize tomorrow. Trying to earn rest through preparation, consider closing your inner notebook now. Tomorrow's page will open itself. For now, blankness is enough. Rest arrives when planning pauses. This is the teaching of the closed book. Some wisdom waits until morning. Story 29. The shoes drying overnight. A pair of shoes rests near the door. They dry quietly after a long walk. No footsteps ask anything from them now. They recover without effort. A woman once pushed herself without pause. Rest felt like falling behind. Her nights stayed tense and alert. Even lying down felt active. A teacher spoke of care remembered from the Dhammapada. Even tools require rest to function. He pointed to shoes left undisturbed overnight. Drying happens best without interference. The woman understood something simple. Rest is part of movement, not its opposite. Tonight, your body may feel worn from carrying more than necessary. Allow yourself to dry slowly, without checking progress. Sleep does this work quietly. Healing prefers patience. This is the teaching of worn shoes. Rest prepares the next step. Story 30. The house after everyone sleeps. The house settles after everyone has gone to bed. Floors creak once, then grow still. Lights dim, and expectations fade. Nothing remains to manage. A listener once stayed mentally awake for others. Always ready, always alert. Responsibility felt endless and heavy. Even sleep felt guarded. An old monk spoke of refuge softly. In the Satipatthana Sutta, awareness rests in itself. He described a house after everyone sleeps. Nothing to protect, nothing to prepare. The listener imagined this deeply. A quiet house inside the chest. For the first time, vigilance softened, breathing slowed without effort. Tonight, you may still feel responsible, as if something might go wrong. But for now, everyone is asleep, including the part of you that watches. Let the inner house grow quiet. Nothing needs attention. This is the final teaching of the night. Peace lives where watchfulness rests. Story 31. The curtain drawn slowly. A light curtain moves gently as night air enters. The window no longer looks outward. Street sounds soften into distant murmurs. The room turns inward, calm and private. A man once watched the world constantly. News, opinions, and distant troubles filled his nights. He believed staying informed meant staying safe. But vigilance slowly became exhaustion. An elderly teacher drew a curtain slowly. He spoke of a teaching from the Sayutta Nikaya. There is a time to look outward. There is a time to rest the eyes. With the curtain closed, the room softened. Nothing important was lost. The man noticed his breathing deepen. Awareness settled closer to the body. Tonight, you may still scan the distance, searching for reassurance beyond this moment. Imagine drawing the inner curtain gently. The world can wait until morning. Feel the safety of being inside now, held by stillness, not information. This is the teaching of the curtain. Rest begins when watching ends. Story 32. The spoon returned to the drawer. A single spoon rests back inside its drawer. The meal has ended peacefully. The kitchen holds no unfinished hunger. Counters are clear and quiet. A woman once kept feeding her worries. Thinking more would finally satisfy them. But the thoughts only multiplied. Her nights grew heavier with effort. A monk spoke of moderation remembered from the Dhammapada. Even the mind needs to stop eating. He placed a spoon gently into the drawer. The small sound felt complete. The woman understood something kindly. Thoughts do not need endless feeding. Tonight, you may still stir the pot inside, searching for one more answer. Let the spoon rest now. The mind has eaten enough today. Notice the quiet fullness spreading gently. Peace arrives when feeding stops. This is the teaching of the drawer. Enough has already been reached. Story 33. The hallway with no mirrors. A long hallway stretches quietly through the house. Its walls hold no mirrors tonight. Footsteps pass without reflection. Nothing asks to be evaluated. A man once judged himself constantly. Every action measured. Every thought reviewed. Even rest felt observed and corrected. Sleep struggled under constant self-watching. An old teacher removed a mirror silently. He spoke of a teaching from the Majjhima Nikaya. Freedom appears when comparison ends, including comparison with oneself. The hallway felt lighter without reflection. Movement became simple again. Tonight, you may still review yourself, wondering if you did enough. Imagine walking a hallway without mirrors. Nothing to measure, nothing to fix. Feel how the body relaxes, unobserved. Rest deepens without evaluation. This is the quiet teaching of the hall. Peace lives where judgment fades. Story 34. The light switch turned off. A small switch clicks softly in the dark. The room accepts shadow without fear. Furniture settles into familiar shapes. Nothing changes except brightness. A woman once feared turning things off. Productivity, attention, readiness stayed on. Even at night, she stayed alert. Rest felt unsafe without light. A nun spoke of trust remembered from the Abhaya Sutta. Darkness is not danger by itself. She turned off the light slowly. Nothing rushed in. The woman noticed calm replacing tension. Her body recognized night as friend. Tonight, you may still keep something switched on. Readiness, worry, or control. Imagine turning that switch off gently, just for this night. Feel how the body welcomes dimness. Sleep grows where effort ends. This is the teaching of the switch. Darkness can be kind. Story 35. The field after harvest. A wide field rests after harvest is finished. Stubble stands quietly under the stars. Nothing grows right now. Nothing is required to grow. A man once feared empty seasons. He believed worth came only from producing. When work slowed, anxiety filled the space. Rest felt like failure. An elder spoke of cycles remembered from the Jataka. Even the earth rests between offerings. He walked the field slowly at night. Peace filled the open space. The man felt permission arrive gently. Doing nothing could still be meaningful. Tonight, you may feel unproductive, as if rest needs justification. Remember the field beneath the stars. Resting prepares unseen growth. Let yourself lie fallow tonight. Nothing is missing. This is the final teaching of this rest. Peace grows when striving sleeps. Story 36. The porch light left on. A small porch light glows steadily in the quiet night. Its circle of warmth reaches just far enough. The house does not shine brightly outward. It simply remains visible to itself. A woman once felt responsible for guiding everyone. She stayed alert, even while resting. Her mind listened for distant problems. Sleep never fully trusted the dark. An old teacher spoke of kindness remembered from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. Care does not require constant vigilance. He pointed to the porch light calmly. It offers welcome without searching the distance. The woman felt something settle inside her chest. She did not need to watch the road tonight. Tonight, you may still feel on duty, as if rest might let someone down. Imagine leaving a gentle light on within. No scanning, no waiting. Let the night handle itself beyond that glow. You are allowed to rest inside. This is the teaching of the porch light. Care can be quiet and still. Story 37. The book returned to the shelf. A well-read book slides back into its place. Its cover closes without resistance. The story does not disappear. It simply pauses. A man once replayed his life constantly. Each chapter judged, revised, and reread. At night, memories reopened themselves. Sleep waited patiently outside the noise. A teacher recalled a gentle teaching from the Dhammapada. Knowing when to stop reading is wisdom. He placed the book back on the shelf slowly. The room felt lighter immediately. The man noticed his breath deepen. Nothing important was lost by stopping. Tonight, you may still reread your day, searching for a better ending. Consider returning that story to the shelf. Tomorrow can open a new page. For now, let the book rest. So can you. This is the quiet teaching of the shelf. Stories soften when closed gently. Story 38. The glass cooling on the counter. A glass of water rests quietly on the counter. Condensation gathers without effort. The water cools naturally in stillness. No stirring is required. A woman once tried to calm herself forcefully. Breathing techniques turned into pressure. Relaxation became another task to complete. Her body resisted the demand. An elderly monk spoke of ease remembered from the Majjhima Nikaya. Calm appears when effort steps aside. He placed the glass down untouched. Cooling happened on its own. The woman understood through simple observation. The body knows how to settle. Tonight, you may try too hard to rest, watching sleep instead of welcoming it. Imagine placing yourself gently on the counter. Nothing to adjust, nothing to fix. Feel how stillness cools you naturally. Rest comes when effort stops. This is the teaching of the cooling glass. Peace does not need assistance. Story 39. The fence that marked enough. A low wooden fence runs along a quiet field. It does not block the sky. It simply marks where tending ends. Beyond it, grass grows freely. A man once believed he must manage everything. Letting go felt irresponsible. Even at night, his thoughts crossed boundaries. Rest felt unfinished. A teacher spoke of limits remembered from the Sigalovada Sutta. Wisdom includes knowing where duty ends. He pointed to the fence without judgment. Care lives on this side only. The man felt relief he did not expect. Some things were not his to hold. Tonight, you may cross inner fences repeatedly, carrying what is not yours. Imagine stepping back within your boundary. Let the rest of the field be. Feel how the body relaxes with limits. Enough is deeply peaceful. This is the teaching of the fence. Peace begins where responsibility ends. Story 40. The night watch ending. A quiet clock marks the late hours softly. The night watch is nearly finished. The world outside continues without supervision. Stars remain in place. A listener once stayed alert for danger. Always prepared. Always listening. Even rest felt like neglect. Sleep seemed risky. An old monk spoke of trust, remembered from the Satipatthana Sutta. Awareness rests when fear is seen clearly. He described the watch ending at dawn. No one stays awake forever. The listener felt permission arrive gently. Vigilance softened into rest. Tonight, you may still keep watch. listening for something to go wrong. But for now, the watch is over. Nothing requires your attention. Let the body stand down slowly. Breathing deepens naturally. This is the final teaching for tonight. Peace arrives when guarding sleeps. Story 41. The kettle left to cool. A small kettle rests quietly on the stove. Steam has faded into the evening air. The water inside no longer moves. Heat has finished its work. A man once stayed mentally boiling at night. Ideas bubbled. Problems rolled endlessly. He believed constant heat meant caring deeply. But exhaustion followed every night. An old teacher remembered a lesson from the Anguttara Nikaya. Even water needs time to cool. He left the kettle untouched on the stove. Cooling happened without instruction. The man felt his thoughts slow naturally. Nothing needed stirring now. Tonight, your mind may still feel hot from effort, worry, or overuse. Imagine the inner kettle resting quietly. No flame beneath it. Feel the warmth fade into calm. Stillness completes what effort began. This is the teaching of the kettle. Peace follows when heat is removed. Story 42. The chair by the window. A simple chair waits beside a dark window. No one sits there now. Moonlight touches its wooden arms softly. It asks for nothing. A woman once forgot how to pause. Standing, doing, preparing filled her nights. Even rest felt like another task. Her body never fully sat down. A nun spoke of presence remembered from the Satipatthana Sutta. Sometimes awareness simply sits. She pulled the chair closer to the window. Silence settled around it. The woman felt invited without pressure. Her shoulders dropped naturally. Tonight, you may still stand inside, ready for the next demand. Imagine sitting in that quiet chair. Nothing to watch, nothing to plan. Let your weight be fully supported. The night can hold you. This is the teaching of the chair. Rest begins when you sit fully. Story 43. The path not taken tonight. A narrow path disappears into the trees. It waits under soft starlight. No footsteps move along it now. The path is patient. A man once felt pressure to choose constantly. Every decision replayed late at night. He feared missing the correct direction. Sleep felt like delay. An elder recalled a teaching from the Kalama Sutta. Not every choice must be made immediately. He gestured toward the quiet path. It would still be there tomorrow. The man felt relief in his chest. Nothing demanded resolution tonight. Tonight, you may stand at inner crossroads, mind turning each option again. Allow the path to rest in darkness. No walking required now. Feel how postponing brings ease. Morning sees more clearly. This is the teaching of the waiting path. Peace grows when choosing sleeps. Story 44. The cup already full. A ceramic cup sits filled near the sink. Water reaches close to the rim. No more can be added safely. Enough has already arrived. A woman once kept adding to her days. More effort, more care, more responsibility. At night, overflow became tension. Rest felt impossible. A monk spoke of balance, remembered from the Dhammapada. Knowing enough is a form of wisdom. He pointed to the full cup gently. Adding more would only spill. The woman felt permission settle deeply. She did not need to add anything. Tonight, you may feel incomplete somehow, as if more is required. Look at the cup of this day. It is already full. Let nothing else be poured in. Stillness keeps balance. This is the teaching of the cup. Enough is deeply peaceful. Story 45. The gate closed at dusk. A wooden gate swings shut as dusk arrives. Its latch clicks softly. Fields beyond fade into shadow. Work has ended for the day. A man once carried his duties past sunset, mentally checking fields all night. Rest felt undeserved without constant care. Sleep waited outside the gate. An old teacher recalled a lesson from the Jataka tales. Even guardians rest when night arrives. He closed the gate slowly and calmly. Nothing was harmed by stopping. The man felt a weight leave his chest. Night had permission to be night. Tonight, you may still patrol your thoughts, guarding what no longer needs guarding. Imagine closing the inner gate gently. The fields can wait until light. Feel how safety remains without effort. Rest stands watch now. This is the final teaching for this moment. Peace enters when gates are closed. Story 46. The clock without numbers. A quiet clock hangs on the wall. Its face holds no numbers tonight. The hands move without urgency. Time passes gently, without measurement. A woman once watched the clock endlessly. Minutes felt heavy and loud. Sleep became a race she kept losing. Waiting itself felt exhausting. An old teacher remembered a teaching from the Sutta Nikaya. Time loosens when attention softens. He covered the clock face calmly. Only movement remained. The woman felt her breath slow. Nothing needed counting anymore. Tonight, you may still measure rest, watching how long sleep takes. Imagine a clock without numbers, time moving kindly on its own. Let moments pass uncounted. The body knows when to rest. This is the teaching of the quiet clock. Peace arrives when counting ends. Story 47. The blanket settling into shape. A blanket spreads gently across the bed. It settles into folds naturally. No tugging is required. Warmth finds its place. A man once adjusted everything repeatedly. Pillows, covers, even his thoughts. Comfort felt just out of reach. Effort replaced ease. A monk recalled a lesson from the Majjhima Nikaya. Harmony forms when forcing stops. He laid the blanket once and stepped back. Stillness completed the shape. The man felt his body relax. Nothing more needed fixing. Tonight, you may still shift inside, searching for the perfect position. Allow yourself to settle once. Let the body arrange itself. Feel how comfort arrives quietly. Rest prefers simplicity. This is the teaching of the blanket. Ease forms when effort softens. Story 48. The road quiet at midnight. A wide road rests under pale moonlight. No cars pass for now. Lines fade into shadow. Movement pauses naturally. A woman once felt driven constantly, always moving towards something else. Even lying still felt temporary. Her mind stayed in motion. An elder spoke of pause, remembered from the Dhammapada. Stillness is part of the journey. He stood beside the empty road silently. Nothing urged him forward. The woman felt a deep calm. Stopping did not erase direction. Tonight, you may still feel driven, as if rest delays progress. Picture the road at midnight, motion resting without guilt. Let yourself pause fully here. The way continues tomorrow. This is the teaching of the quiet road. Stillness supports the journey. Story 49. The bowl washed and set aside. A simple bowl dries beside the sink. Its surface catches dim light. The meal has ended completely. Nothing remains to be done. A man once replayed old conversations nightly. Words echoed long after they ended. Closure felt unfinished. Rest felt interrupted. A teacher remembered a teaching from the Abhaya Sutta. Right speech also knows when to end. He washed the bowl carefully and set it aside. The kitchen felt complete. The man felt a similar quiet. The conversation was finished now. Tonight, you may still replay words, trying to adjust what has passed. Imagine washing that bowl gently, setting it aside for the night. Feel the space left behind. Silence cleans the mind. This is the teaching of the clean bowl. Completion invites rest. Story 50. The star seen once. A single star appears between drifting clouds. It shines without effort. No one watches it constantly. Still, it remains. A listener once searched for constant reassurance. Peace felt fragile and brief. They feared losing calm by looking away. Sleep stayed light and guarded. An old monk spoke of trust, remembered from Indra's net. Each light exists without supervision. He glanced once at the star, then rested his eyes. The listener felt something settle deeply. Peace did not disappear when unseen. Tonight, you may still check your calm, making sure it stays. Allow peace to exist without watching. Like the quiet star, rest your awareness gently. Nothing needs guarding. This is the final teaching for now. Peace remains when attention sleeps. Story 51. The door left unlocked inside. An inner door stands quietly without a lock. Nothing presses against it tonight. The room beyond feels calm and open. Safety rests without tension. A man once guarded himself constantly. Old hurts kept him alert at night. He believed vigilance would prevent pain, but it only delayed rest. An elder recalled a teaching from the Majjhima Nikaya. True safety grows from understanding, not guarding. He left the door gently unlocked. Nothing rushed in. The man felt his chest soften. Trust returned slowly, like breath. Tonight, you may still brace inside, protecting yourself from old echoes. Let the inner door rest open. No danger approaches now. Feel how openness brings ease. Rest enters where fear loosens. This is the teaching of the open door. Peace arrives when guarding softens. Story 52. The lamp turned toward the wall. A small lamp glows facing the wall. Its light spreads softly, without glare. Shadows grow kind and gentle. The room feels calm. A woman once shone attention everywhere. Problems, mistakes, and worries stayed bright. At night, brightness became harsh. Rest hid from constant light. A monk spoke of gentleness from the Sayutta Nikaya. Attention can be softened, not removed. He turned the lamp toward the wall. The room relaxed immediately. The woman felt her thoughts ease. Nothing demanded sharp focus now. Tonight, you may shine attention too strongly, looking for flaws in the dark. Turn the inner lamp softly aside. Let light become kind. Feel how shadows comfort you. Sleep prefers gentle glow. This is the teaching of the lamp. Soft light brings rest. Story 53. The sand left untouched. A small patch of sand lies smooth and quiet. No footprints cross it now. Wind rests, leaving it undisturbed. Stillness holds its shape. A man once traced every thought repeatedly. Patterns formed from worry. He believed understanding required constant review, but sleep faded under scrutiny. An old teacher recalled a lesson from the Vitakasantana Sutta. Some thoughts dissolve when left alone. He left the sand untouched. Marks softened on their own. The man felt his mind ease. Nothing needed erasing by force. Tonight, you may still trace thoughts, revisiting the same lines. Let the inner sand rest untouched. Wind will smooth it gently. Notice how calm returns naturally. Rest comes without effort. This is the teaching of the sand. Peace grows in stillness. Story 54. The bridge crossed earlier. A small bridge rests over quiet water. Moonlight touches its edges. No one crosses it now. Its purpose is complete. A woman once kept crossing old bridges, returning to past moments nightly. Regret pulled her backward repeatedly. Sleep waited patiently ahead. A teacher spoke of direction from the Dhammapada. Once crossed, the bridge can be left. He stood still, not turning back. Water flowed quietly beneath. The woman felt relief settle deeply. The past no longer followed her. Tonight, you may revisit old crossings, wondering if you chose right. Remember the bridge already crossed. You stand safely here. Feel the water carry memories away. Rest belongs to this side. This is the teaching of the bridge. Peace lives in where you stand. Story 55. The breath finding its own pace. A gentle breath moves in the dark. It does not hurry. Chest rises and falls naturally. No guidance is needed. A listener once controlled every breath, trying to force calm to appear. Effort replaced ease. Sleep felt distant. An elder recalled a teaching from the Satipatthana Sutta. Breath knows its own wisdom. He simply noticed breathing continue. Nothing else was required. The listener felt trust return quietly. The body remembered how to rest. Tonight, you may watch your breath closely, trying to improve it. Allow breathing to lead you instead. Follow without directing. Feel how sleep approaches softly, carried by natural rhythm. This is the final teaching for now. Peace arrives when breath is trusted. Story 56. The mail left unopened. A small stack of mail rests by the door. Envelopes lie quietly, saying nothing. The house does not ask for answers tonight. Paper waits without urgency. A man once opened every message late at night. Bad news felt safer when faced immediately. Sleep stayed shallow and alert. Rest waited behind responsibility. An elder recalled a teaching from the Anguttara Nikaya. Wisdom knows when to wait. He left the mail untouched until morning. Nothing bad happened in the dark. The man felt a calm he had forgotten. Some answers belong to daylight. Tonight, you may still open inner messages, replaying concerns before rest. Let the mail wait by the door. Night is not for sorting. Feel how the body relaxes with postponement. Rest chooses patience. This is the teaching of unopened mail. Peace comes when waiting is allowed. Story 57. The sink after dishes are done. A clean sink reflects dim kitchen light. Water has stopped running. No plates remain to be scrubbed. Completion fills the space. A woman once searched for one more task. Stopping felt uncomfortable and strange, even at night. She looked for duties. Rest felt undeserved. A teacher spoke of completion from the Dhammapada. Knowing enough brings ease. He turned off the faucet gently. Silence settled like relief. The woman felt permission arrive quietly. Nothing more was required. Tonight, you may still look for tasks, as if rest must be earned. Notice the sink already empty. The work of today is done. Let your hands be still now. Peace follows completion. This is the teaching of the quiet sink. Enough has already been done. Story 58. The window fog clearing slowly. A window fogs gently in the cool night. Breath leaves soft clouds on glass. Outside shapes blur kindly. Nothing demands clarity now. A man once forced understanding late at night. He wanted answers before sleep. Thoughts pressed against the mind. Rest stayed distant. An old monk recalled a teaching from the Majjhima Nikaya. Clarity arrives when pressure fades. He waited without wiping the glass. Fog thinned on its own. The man felt his thoughts soften, understanding no longer rushed. Tonight, you may seek clear answers, wanting sharp insight now. Let the window stay fogged a while. Clarity prefers patience. Feel how uncertainty can be gentle. Sleep welcomes softness. This is the teaching of the window. Peace grows when clarity waits. Story 59. The coat hung for the night. A warm coat hangs quietly by the door. Its weight rests on the hook. The body no longer needs it. Cold has been left outside. A woman once kept her defenses on. Strength stayed wrapped tightly around her. Even in bed, she stayed armored. Rest felt unreachable. An elder spoke of gentleness from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. Kindness includes softness toward oneself. He hung the coat carefully aside. The room felt lighter. The woman felt her shoulders drop. Nothing needed defending tonight. Tonight, you may still wear protection, holding yourself ready. Imagine hanging that coat gently. You are safe here. Let warmth come from rest. Peace enters, uncovered. This is the teaching of the coat. Softness invites sleep. Story 60. The bell that has stopped ringing. A distant bell fades into silence. Its echo dissolves naturally. Nothing follows the final sound. Stillness remains. A listener once waited for closure, expecting a final signal before rest. Attention stayed alert for something more. Sleep remained postponed. An old monk remembered a teaching from the Sayutta Nikaya. When the sound ends, listening can rest. He let the silence remain untouched. Nothing else arrived. The listener felt deep, quiet, settle. The waiting finally ended. Tonight, you may still listen for signals, expecting one last thought. Let the bell be finished now. Silence is complete. Rest your listening gently. Nothing more is coming. This is the final teaching for this moment. Peace begins when sound ends. Story 61. The map folded away. A paper map lies folded on the table. Creases rest where hands once searched. The journey for today is complete. No routes need tracing now. A man once planned every future moment. Even nights became navigation. Sleep felt uncertain without direction. Rest waited beyond control. An elder recalled a teaching from the Majjhima Nikaya. Trust grows when grasping loosens. He folded the map carefully. The room felt wider immediately. The man noticed his breath slow. Not knowing felt safe tonight. You may still plan tomorrow's turns. Holding roots inside the mind. Let the map rest folded now. The path will appear again. Feel how uncertainty softens the body. Rest needs no directions. This is the teaching of the folded map. Peace arrives when guiding sleeps. Story 62. The phone face down. A quiet phone rests face down on wood. Its screen no longer glows. No messages reach for attention. The air feels calmer. A woman once waited for replies at night. Hope and worry traded places. Sleep felt conditional and fragile. Alertness stayed high. A monk remembered a teaching from the Anguttara Nikaya. Attention chooses where peace grows. He turned the phone face down. Silence widened gently. The woman felt relief in her chest. Nothing urgent arrived. You may still wait for responses, listening for a vibration. Place the inner phone face down. No replies are needed now. Let quiet be the message. Rest reads it clearly. This is the teaching of the quiet phone. Peace comes when waiting ends. Story 63. The window open a little. A window opens just a little. Cool air slips inside. Not too much. Not too little. Balance feels kind. A man once changed everything at once. Big fixes chased small relief. Sleep resisted sudden shifts. The body wanted gentleness. An elder recalled a teaching from the middle way. Ease lives between extremes. He opened the window slightly. The room breathed easily. The man felt comfort spread. No shock, only freshness. You may try to change too much, forcing calm to arrive. Open the window a little. Let night enter gently. Feel how balance soothes the body. Rest prefers moderation. This is the teaching of the small opening. Peace grows with gentle change. Story 64. The calendar page turned. A calendar page lifts and turns. Today slips behind quietly. Tomorrow waits without comment. Space opens between days. A woman once carried dates into bed. Deadlines whispered through the dark. Sleep felt scheduled and tense. Rest stayed incomplete. A teacher recalled a lesson from the Dhammapada. Each day ends when it ends. He turned the page softly. The room felt lighter. The woman felt release arrive. Today was truly finished. You may still hold today tightly, counting what remains undone. Turn the inner page now. Let today rest behind you. Feel the space this creates. Sleep lives there. This is the teaching of the turned page. Peace follows completion. Story 65. The path lit by moonlight. A narrow path glows under moonlight. No lantern is needed. Enough light shows each step. The rest can remain dark. A listener once demanded full clarity. Knowing everything felt necessary. Uncertainty kept sleep away. The mind stayed alert. An old monk spoke of trust from the Sayata Nikaya. Only the next step is required. He walked calmly into moonlit darkness. The path revealed itself. The listener felt calm arrive. Enough was enough. You may seek complete certainty tonight, wanting all answers now. Walk by moonlight instead. See only what's needed. Feel how partial knowing relaxes you. Rest follows trust. This is the final teaching for now. Peace grows step by step. Story 66. The table cleared before night. A wooden table stands cleared and open. No plates remain from the day. The surface breathes in the dim light. Nothing asks to be placed there. A man once carried conversations into the night. Faces and words gathered around his bed. Unfinished moments asked for attention. Sleep stayed distant. An elder recalled a teaching from the Abhaya Sutta. Truth rests better when speech ends gently. He cleared the table slowly. Space returned without effort. The man felt quiet spread inside. Nothing remained to discuss. Tonight, you may replay what was said, wishing for different endings. Imagine the table cleared completely. No voices remain seated. Feel how silence settles kindly. Rest enjoys empty space. This is the teaching of the clear table. Peace lives where clutter ends. Story 67. The shoes left by the door. A pair of shoes rests neatly by the door. Dust clings quietly to their sides. They will not travel again tonight. The floor feels lighter. A woman once carried the world indoors. Every step followed her to bed. Effort stayed wrapped around her feet. Rest never fully arrived. A monk recalled a teaching from the Majjhima Nikaya. Knowing when to stop walking is wisdom. He removed his shoes gently. Relief came immediately. The woman felt her legs soften. The day had truly ended. Tonight, you may still walk inside, mentally pacing unfinished paths. Leave your inner shoes by the door. No more steps are needed. Feel the ground support you fully. Rest stands still. This is the teaching of resting feet. Peace begins when walking ends. Story 68. The candle burned down. A candle flickers low on the table. Its flame grows smaller. Wax pools quietly at the base. Light prepares to rest. A man once stayed bright too long. Energy burned late into night. He feared dimming meant losing value. Sleep waited patiently. An elder spoke of balance from the Dhammapada. Even light must know rest. He watched the candle burn down naturally. Darkness arrived softly. The man felt permission to dim. Nothing was lost. Tonight, you may keep yourself bright, trying to stay useful. Allow your inner candle to lower. Darkness can be gentle. Feel how warmth remains without effort. Sleep welcomes softer light. This is the teaching of the candle. Rest is part of shining. Story 69. The river beyond hearing. A river moves far beyond the house. Its sound barely reaches you. Water flows without witnesses. Night carries it onward. A woman once listened too closely. Every problem sounded loud. Silence felt unfamiliar and risky. Rest stayed shallow. A teacher recalled a lesson from the Sutta Nikaya. Life continues without constant listening. He gestured toward the distant river. Flow needs no attention. The woman felt ease arrive. She did not need to hear everything. Tonight, you may strain to listen, waiting for trouble. Let the river move unheard. You are safe here. Feel how distance brings calm. Rest listens only to breath. This is the teaching of the quiet river. Peace flows without watching. Story 70. The bed ready before you lie down. A bed waits calmly in the dark. Sheets lie smooth and cool. Nothing needs adjusting right now. It is already prepared. A listener once believed rest required readiness. Perfect timing. Perfect conditions. Sleep felt delayed by preparation. Effort filled the night. An old monk recalled a teaching from the Satipatthana Sutta. Awareness rests where it is. He lay down without fixing anything. The body settled naturally. The listener felt ease spread slowly. Rest did not need earning. Tonight, you may prepare endlessly, waiting to be ready. Let the bed receive you now. It has been waiting. Feel how support meets your weight. Sleep arrives quietly. This is the final teaching for this moment. Peace welcomes you as you are. Story 71. The drawer left half open. A drawer rests slightly open in the dark. Nothing spills from inside. It does not need closing tonight. The room remains calm. A man once needed everything sealed. Completion felt like safety. Even small looseness felt uneasy. Sleep waited beyond control. An elder recalled a teaching from the Anguttara Nikaya. Life breathes through small openings. He left the drawer gently ajar. Nothing changed for the worse. The man felt ease settle quietly. Perfection was not required. Tonight, you may want closure everywhere, tying every loose end. Allow one drawer to stay open. Nothing will escape. Feel how looseness softens effort. Rest likes unfinished edges. This is the teaching of the open drawer. Peace allows a little space. Story 72. The floor supporting everything. A quiet floor stretches beneath the room. It holds furniture without complaint. Weight rests evenly and silently. Nothing sinks or strains. A woman once carried everyone emotionally. Support flowed only outward. At night, she still held others. Her body felt tired and unseen. A monk recalled a teaching from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. Loving kindness includes oneself. He pressed his palm to the floor gently. Support was already there. The woman felt tears soften her chest. She did not need to hold everything. Tonight, you may still support others inside. even while lying down. Let the floor support you now. Release your grip. Feel how weight is shared kindly. Rest receives you fully. This is the teaching of the floor. Peace grows when supported. Story 73. The wind outside the house. A soft wind moves through trees outside. Leaves whisper without urgency. The house remains still and warm. Nothing enters uninvited. A man once followed every movement. Change kept him alert. Even small shifts felt threatening. Sleep stayed light. An elder recalled a lesson from the Sutta Nikaya. Change can pass without response. He listened to the wind from indoors. Safety remained. The man felt calm arrive. Movement did not require action. Tonight, you may track changes closely. Listening for disruption. Let the wind stay outside. You are sheltered. Feel how stillness holds you. Rest lives indoors. This is the teaching of the wind. Peace remains unmoved. Story 74. The letter never sent. A handwritten letter rests in a drawer. Ink has dried long ago. No address waits on the envelope. The words have already served. A woman once rehearsed apologies at night. Messages never sent echoed loudly. Sleep felt crowded by unsaid words. Rest stayed distant. A teacher remembered a lesson from the Abhaya Sutta. Not every truth needs sending. He placed the letter gently away. Silence felt complete. The woman felt relief in her breath. Nothing more was needed. Tonight, you may still compose messages, speaking inwardly to others. Let the letter remain unsent. Its work is done. Feel how quiet replaces rehearsal. Rest enjoys silence. This is the teaching of the letter. Peace does not require delivery. Story 75. The sky without stars tonight. Clouds cover the sky completely. No stars appear. Darkness feels even and soft. Nothing sparkles or points. A listener once needed signs. Reassurance felt necessary. Without signals, worry grew louder. Sleep stayed uncertain. An old monk recalled a teaching from Indra's net. Light exists, even when unseen. He rested under clouded sky calmly. Trust remained. The listener felt calm, settled deeply. Nothing was missing. Tonight, you may search for guidance, looking for signs. Let the sky remain clouded. Peace does not require proof. Feel how darkness holds gently. Rest trusts what remains. This is the final teaching for now. Peace exists, even unseen. Story 76. The cup left by the bed. A small cup of water waits by the bed. Its surface stays perfectly still. Nothing asks to be sipped right now. It simply remains available. A man once prepared for every need. Even rest felt like preparation. He stayed alert for discomfort. Sleep felt conditional. An elder recalled a teaching from the Majjhima Nikaya. Trust grows when readiness relaxes. He placed the cup nearby and lay down. No checking followed. The man felt his body soften. Needs no longer called out. Tonight, you may stay prepared inside, watching for discomfort. Let the cup wait quietly beside you. Nothing is required now. Feel how availability becomes calm. Rest arrives without readiness. This is the teaching of the waiting cup. Peace does not rush. Story 77. The picture turned face down. A framed picture rests face down on a shelf. Its image sleeps quietly. Nothing asks to be remembered tonight. The past stays still. A woman once replayed old moments nightly. Faces returned without invitation. Memory crowded her rest. Sleep felt busy. A monk recalled a teaching from the Sutta Nikaya. Memory can rest without forgetting. He turned the picture face down, gently. The room felt lighter. The woman felt relief spread slowly. Nothing followed her into bed. Tonight, you may revisit old images, scenes replaying softly. Allow the picture to rest face down. Memory can sleep too. Feel how the mind grows quiet. Rest welcomes forgetfulness. This is the teaching of the resting image. Peace comes when memory sleeps. Story 78. The road sign passed already. A quiet road sign stands behind you now. Its message already received. The road ahead asks nothing. Movement has paused. A man once reread instructions repeatedly, doubting each choice. At night, signs replayed endlessly. Sleep waited patiently. An elder recalled a teaching from the Kalama Sutta, understanding lives in lived steps. He continued without looking back. The sign faded naturally. The man felt confidence return. Nothing more needed, confirming. Tonight, you may revisit guidance, wondering if you missed something. Remember, the sign already passed. You are here now. Feel how certainty softens. Rest does not need directions. This is the teaching of the quiet sign. Peace trusts the path taken. Story 79. The gate with no guard. A simple gate stands open in the dark. No guard waits beside it. Nothing approaches. Nothing leaves. Stillness keeps watch. A woman once guarded her peace tightly. Fear stayed alert. Even rest felt protected. Sleep remained shallow. A teacher recalled a lesson from the Satipatthana Sutta. Awareness rests without guarding. He stood by the open gate calmly. Nothing changed. The woman felt ease arrive. Peace did not need defense. Tonight, you may still guard your calm, holding it carefully. Let the gate remain unguarded. Nothing threatens. Feel how ease deepens naturally. Rest protects itself. This is the teaching of the open gate. Peace stands without guards. Story 80. The night holding everything. The night surrounds the house completely. Darkness feels wide and steady. Nothing falls out of it. Everything is held. A listener once feared letting go. Control felt like safety. Sleep meant surrender. Trust felt risky. An old monk recalled a teaching from the Dhammapada. What is held by awareness does not fall. He rested into the night gently. Nothing was lost. The listener felt deep calm arrive. Letting go felt safe. Tonight, you may hesitate to release, holding yourself awake. Let the night hold you now. You do not need to grip. Feel how vastness supports you. Sleep carries you softly. This is the final teaching for this moment. Peace holds you completely. Story 81. The footsteps fading down the hall. Soft footsteps move away down the hallway. Their sound fades gently into quiet. No one follows them now. The house returns to stillness. A man once stayed alert after others rested, listening for needs that never came. Responsibility lingered past usefulness. Sleep stayed distant. An elder recalled a teaching from the Sayutta Nikaya. When sounds fade, listening can rest. He stood still as footsteps disappeared. Nothing returned. The man felt relief spread slowly. The day had truly ended. Tonight, you may still listen inwardly, waiting for someone to call. Let the footsteps fade completely. No one needs you now. Feel how quiet settles deeply. Rest follows silence. This is the teaching of fading steps. Peace arrives when listening ends. Story 82. The cupboard closed gently. A kitchen cupboard closes with a soft click. Its shelves settle quietly. Nothing remains to be taken out. Everything rests inside. A woman once searched for comfort endlessly. Snacks, distractions, small comforts repeated. Nothing fully satisfied. Sleep felt restless. A monk recalled a teaching from the Dhammapada: seeking ends when contentment appears. He closed the cupboard slowly. The room felt complete. The woman felt fullness without eating. Enough had arrived. Tonight, you may seek comfort still, looking for one more thing. Let the cupboard remain closed. Nothing else is needed. Feel how satisfaction spreads gently. Rest enjoys simplicity. This is the teaching of the closed cupboard. Peace lives with enough. Story 83. The porch after guests leave. The porch stands empty after guests depart. Chairs rest where voices were. Laughter lingers briefly, then fades. Space returns kindly. A man once stayed socially awake, replaying conversations late at night. He worried about impressions left behind. Sleep waited quietly. An elder recalled a teaching from the Abhaya Sutta. Speech completes itself when honesty ends. He sat alone on the porch calmly. Nothing followed him. The man felt ease settle in. The evening was complete. Tonight, you may replay social moments, wondering how you were seen. Let the porch rest empty now. No audience remains. Feel how solitude soothes you. Rest prefers privacy. This is the teaching of the quiet porch. Peace comes when company ends. Story 84. The switch that controls nothing. A small switch rests on the wall. It connects to nothing now. Flipping it changes nothing. The room remains calm. A woman once searched for control, believing one action could fix rest. She tried many inner switches. Sleep stayed distant. A teacher recalled a lesson from the Majjhima Nikaya. Not everything responds to control. He left the switch untouched. Stillness remained. The woman felt tension soften. Nothing needed adjusting. Tonight, you may search for a solution. One final adjustment. Let the switch remain unused. Nothing requires control now. Feel how ease returns naturally. Rest lives beyond fixing. This is the teaching of the useless switch. Peace appears when control stops. Story 85. The room breathing with you. The room seems to breathe slowly. Walls expand and soften. Air moves gently in and out. Nothing rushes. A listener once felt alone with breath, trying to manage calm. Effort filled the space. Sleep felt distant. An old monk recalled a teaching from the Satipatthana Sutta. Breathing happens within everything. He noticed the room breathing too. Support felt shared. The listener felt companionship arrive. Rest no longer felt solitary. Tonight, you may feel alone in stillness, watching your breath closely. Let the room breathe with you. You are not separate. Feel how shared rhythm soothes you. Sleep comes together. This is the final teaching for now. Peace breathes all around you. The night has grown quieter around you now. Nothing is asking for your attention. Your body knows this gentle hour well. It has been waiting patiently. Breath moves easily, without guidance, in and out, like a familiar tide. Thoughts may still drift by softly. They do not need answers tonight. You have done enough for one day, more than enough. In the old teachings, rest is also wisdom. Letting be is a form of understanding. There is nothing you must hold together, nothing you must solve. The bed supports you completely. The night keeps watch for you. If the mind wanders, let it wander kindly. Sleep does not require stillness first. It arrives like fog over water, slow, quiet, unavoidable. You may feel yourself sinking gently, as if the earth remembers you. Here, you are safe to loosen, safe to drift. Let the story fade now. Like a lamp turned low, nothing more will be asked of you. Nothing more will be said. Rest deeply. Sleep is already here.